welcome to. Thank you. Go, Kaya,
and go.
I forgot we got a taping. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hurry up, damn it.
Listen, this is what happens. This is how we start a show.
Right?
This is how we start a show.
20 to 9, right? My sleep.
All right. Well, if you were hush, it would be yeah. Okay. This is how we start a show. One and all. Welcome to the baby movement. A safe space for Black women to shamelessly express their opinions because we've got something to say. Today, I'm here with the Between Sisters cast, my fam, my sisters, my road dogs, and my Saint-Tropez homies. We're one step closer to Saint-Tropez, guys. Okay. Saint-Tropez, if you hear me. Anybody in the French Riviera? Woo, woo. We here. We all here. You know. All right. So first in, I don't know who was first in because I was late. So I got Keish at the top. I got Shauna Dawn. And then I got Cho Lovey. Can you not look like something smells?
Who, me?
Yes.
I did?
Yes. Okay. And then we got EVE.
Come back.
All right. So, first up, Wendy Williams can't move on. And she feels broken that her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, that swine of a man, and his baby mother, Sharina Hudson, are living off of her wealth and fame. That's a rough pill to swallow. I don't think they got no medication that can basically cure that type of hurt. Wendy is said to have been struggling with alcohol addiction. And I don't know if you guys remember DJ Booth that was on her show.
Yes.
And then mysteriously Sus One came. But DJ Booth basically said that she is struggling and she's addicted to alcohol and she's going to slowly kill herself.
Aww.
So what happened between her and Booth? Because her and Booth were really close.
Exactly.
So is it something with her addiction that she fell out with him? So
that's what's said to have happened because he was really, I think he really cared for her, genuinely cared for her, and it wasn't, as far as I know, a romantic type of relationship. It was more I
think they were just really close.
Yeah. But Wendy, she's having a hard time. And she herself revealed that she was drinking every single day of her filming. And now she's battling. Huh?
Recent?
Wendy. Yeah.
This most recent issue while she hasn't been, okay.
And now she's battling a breakthrough of a COVID case. She was vaccinated, but she has a breakthrough case. Because of her underlying health conditions, we both share some of the same health conditions. The virus basically had an adverse effect on her.
And she suffered from addiction
before.
Yeah. So this
drug
was
addiction.
The catalyst to now, okay, it's not drugs. Now it's alcohol. And the thing is,
she's an addict, just period.
Right, yeah, no. Yeah. So what she has to do is work on the piece of her that causes the addiction.
I don't know if it's necessarily a piece of her with this particular situation. I think it's more so she literally took this from driving Mr. C. You know how that Morgan was driving Miss Daisy? Kevin was driving Mr. C.
Yes.
She took him from the street, from the East New York, Brownsville streets.
Yep.
Took him, dusted him off, shined him up like a pretty penny, gave him food, gave him sleeps.
Okay, you're acting
Black
as if
women.
he didn't have anything. Stop that.
He was driving Mr. C.
Compared to what she had.
Compared to
nothing.
what she had. He didn't have anything.
Black woman.
Black women. He was driving Mr. C.
You think Mr. C
How
was
many times we gonna say that?
I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I don't know what other things he may have been doing at that time for money. So, well, I'm not gonna say that he was just a Mr. C. I'm not gonna say he was just a Mr. C driver. I mean, the biggest issue is Wendy got with a street. She wasn't a street dude type of girl. Now where she came from, wasn't about that. She wasn't about that.
The shore.
But, you know, some girls like that type of dude, and that's who she fell for. And they were together for many years. And I mean, we saw her movie, and that was her side of the story. Right. We still don't know Kevin's side of the story, and we always know that there's more than one side to the story in a relationship. He, you know, she could portray that he did all of these things to her. We don't know what it was and what impacts that he felt from being with her. We don't know his story. He hasn't spoken his story. We don't know what kind of wife she was to him. She may not have been paying him the attention that he needed. I don't know. Was it in a relationship? Was it in a marriage? But we only ever hear Wendy's side now, and we've heard little tricklings of what people have said about Kevin being a grimy dude. However, as grimy as he was, Wendy stayed with Kevin all of those years.
She did. Even after she knew that he was cheating with, I think, the teller at the bank.
Stay with him. So whatever it is that she had for him, that's where she wanted to be. And I guess it got to this point where she could no longer do it. And that's why it was like, all right, you know what? It's over. And
I don't even know if she necessarily did the "it's over" because he clearly was already moved on.
And that's the thing I was going to say. We don't know what was the reason for that breakup.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
One thing I noticed is women who allow other women in the bedroom have a tendency to tolerate cheating a little better than the average woman would. And has she ever discussed in any of her books that her and Kevin had threesomes? Because I know Judge was it not Judge Joe Brown? What's the other judge? Mathis. Is it Mathis or Judge Brown? Which one was it? That there was a recording of him cursing her out. What's the younger one? Huh?
I think it might have been Mathis. Don't quote me though.
I think it's Mathis, where when she was on a radio station, I don't know if he called in or if he was in a station on the radio station himself. But in an interview, you know, Wendy back then on the radio, she really was going for the
she just said it all.
And he stopped her right there. And when I tell you, he read her rights, and he asked her, he said, "Where's your son when you and Kevin got other women in your bedroom? Fucking, excuse my French." So he said that to her.
You go, Judge.
I don't think
it's like, "Huh, Wendy? Huh? Where your kid at?" When he was going off of her like he was in the street. So, and he said to her, "If you replay this, I'm suing you." So I said, I find that women who have a tendency to do threesomes with their husbands or their boyfriends, they're a little more lenient when it comes down to him cheating on them. And this is just from my experience talking to women who have threesomes with their mates. It's like they kind of like, it's like, "Oh well, we already had sex with another woman, so you know, maybe I wasn't giving you, like you said, giving you the attention that you needed, so you went out and did it with someone else. But so I really feel like she kind of planted that seed on her own. I really feel bad for Wendy. So she's clearly going through a lot mentally, and she's using drugs and alcohol, or just alcohol, whatever it is. And I pray for her. I really do. I know Wendy has a reputation in the industry, so there's a lot of people, especially celebrities that she's talked about, that are sitting in the background saying that's what she gets because she dogged out people over the years. But I feel differently about it. I just feel no one deserves what she's going through. No one.
But that couldn't be me, because if I have a threesome with my man and I hear you moan differently while we're in the midst of it, I'm tearing the whole shit up. That's why I would never have a threesome with my man. If you moan differently than how you regularly moan.
That is funny. That is funny. I never thought about it like that.
How should he moan? How should he moan?
The same way he always do.
Just saying.
What I was trying to say. What I was going to say was, there's always an added thing, because everything she does is in the public eye. So if she walks differently, or she says something, or she goes somewhere, it's like it's always on Front Street. So
yeah,
whereas if it's just us, like, we could stay at home and cry all day, and and like no one would know. But
yeah,
with her, it's on every news outlet, it's on social media. It's like, so at some point, when does it become like, oh my gosh, I can't, face this? And she has started drinking.
And you know who also I feel bad for? The son.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he sees behind closed door with how his mom was
disintegrating.
Yep.
You know, she was a strong, powerful woman at one point, and now it's like she's vulnerable, and everybody's watching her, step by step, day by day, trying to figure this thing out.
Right.
So I really feel bad for him, and I pray that he's getting some therapy, and I pray that his father has common sense to sit him down and tell him why he did what he did to his mother.
Well, she was recently hospitalized for a mental health check, and Kevin, in the meantime, he shared a selfie on IG wearing Louis Vuitton sunglasses, a luxury that fans pointed out are a result of Williams' hard-earned cash, and boasted about his blessings and health. He said, and I quote, "B-Day vibes all week, exclamation, exclamation, strong arm, strong arm. So thankful to the Most High God for all blessings. I tried to tell him health is wealth, not money." Yeah.
Why we always put God in mess? Like, why we always be the first one? God said, or bless the Lord.
Not money. God said, they'll learn. Have a blessed day.
Wow, that's a slap in the face.
You'll learn, all right.
Really is. That's a slap in the face. He really slapped her in the face with that one.
Well,
So
Wendy fans saw that and they went in.
Of course, and they went in.
Because, like, now I'm not saying that somebody can't move on. Moving on is the name of the game. A lot of people don't stay together forever.
Right.
But when it comes to rubbing somebody's face in your mess,
that's like kicking someone when they're down, like.
Exactly. And that's the mother of your child. I mean, granted, you with your other baby mama who is now benefiting off of your ex-wife's money. That is sick.
That's it. But that's like Mary J. Blige and Kendu. You know, she another one. I feel bad for her because if you think about it, Mary's out there working hard, and every time I see Mary doing anything extra, like her wine collection and whatever she's doing, I'm like, Kendu getting some of that. Kendu making, he's like her pimp. Everything she do, every concert she does, he's getting a piece of that change. Yeah, and I don't think that's fair, especially when the person cheated on
the
wife.
Exactly.
That's not fair. There needs to be a clause in these contracts that if the person gets cheated on, they should not have to pay the full.
All bets are off.
Yeah, like nah, buddy, nah.
You can't do me wrong by being with another chick, and then you leave me. We get divorced, and then I got to pay for you to be with the next chick,
and you still taking my money.
Yeah.
Nah, B, we're not gonna be able to do that.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I was a billionaire, like say I was a billionaire and I was Wendy Williams and I was a billionaire, even if he got $1 million every year, which is nothing off $1 billion, I'd still be like salty. Like that girl is
like he hurt you.
You got a nanny.
You still gotta pay him.
She got a nanny. You know, like
you just got your hair done because of me. You just got your nails done
because of me, right?
Y'all healthy.
You know where they frequent. You know our restaurant.
Yeah,
they be going there, and they got her stepping out of her Maserati.
Wow.
In front of you by the valet.
Right.
Wow, that's messed up. That's sad.
You know why I feel that Wendy is so heartbroken? Because he was her covering. When they were like he took control of everything. He might have been
nobody
a tyrant.
Can mess with Wendy.
Nobody messed with it, right?
He might have been a tyrant when it came to her the people that worked for her. Yeah, for business, but he covered her.
And you know, this is a lesson for every woman indirectly that's watching Wendy disintegrate. Because communication, I tell everyone, communication is a key. And if you feel uncomfortable with something, you need to put your foot down right away. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, because you got to keep out, by the time the public found out about, what's his name?
Kevin
and his mistress, they had been together for a long time. So
years.
People just getting the back end of the story. And I think at that point, he didn't care anymore. So all the sneaking that he was doing, he probably knew at that point that, you know what, me and Wendy are almost done. So, and you know, the mistress is probably in his ear for years. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being a cover up, you know, blah, blah, blah. But going back to my whole thing with communication, because you can't tell me that Wendy was comfortable all those years when he was on her with this lady. And she knew, like, how many times she was at night sleeping by herself and he was down the street with the other woman. So that's a lesson for anybody. Like, if you want to tolerate today, you got to tolerate it all the time. So listen, you don't like it from the beginning, don't sit there and let it happen. Don't be a carpet. Apparently she was a carpet and she let that thing happen until I think Wendy let it happen until the public found out. And when the public found out, it was embarrassing and she couldn't take it anymore because now her fans and everybody know her business. So,
and she's always telling somebody else's business. So now,
yeah. So that communication is the key. If you don't like, ladies, if you don't like it, let them know. If you decide you're gonna do threesomes with your man or your husband, you let him know. You set the rules right now. I don't agree with threesomes. That's another story. But if you're gonna go that route, you let a dude know. It only stays in his bedroom. It don't go elsewhere because a lot of times the dude, after he's done with the threesome, he start linking up with other chicks, including the one that's in the bedroom with y'all.
True.
She didn't start with just sex. It starts with conversation. So they've been talking. The gentleman brought her in.
Yeah. She Sharina is her name. She better hope it don't come back to her tenfold.
Yeah, because he looked like the type that will do something dirty to her too. He just like a grimy dude.
He was able to drive Mr. C.
You're not gonna let that go.
I wonder what else he was doing for Mr. C. You didn't hear that from me. No, you didn't.
But anyway, I pray that she's all right. She, she has Graves' disease, which I also had, and that coupled with COVID and stress and your mental health and what lymphedema with the legs. She got a lot of things going
Got
on.
a lot.
Yeah.
And then you add alcohol on. Girl, I really hope that she is back pissing people off like she was always doing.
Like she was doing before.
Doing what she do best, right?
Doing what
people off.
You gonna heal from it, Wendy. Just it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah. And he gonna get his.
Trust.
God gonna come. And
That's a fact.
God gonna come and get him. He healthy now. He healthy now.
Oof, the ghetto.
Well, he was driving Mr. C. Sorry.
I was like, I felt it coming. Like I knew it was coming back. She had to like close that part off.
Let me drink my tea.
Yeah, drink your tea. So this is a question for our audience. So speaking of employees making alternate arrangements, like Wendy's employees apparently looking for other work opportunities while management is in disarray. A Forbes article came out claiming that employers are upset that employees are reclaiming their time, like Miss Maxine Walters says, and are starting to demand quotas for people to come back to the office, like we were just talking about, because they noticed how their employees flourished when they were working from home. The general consensus among employees is that employers that have so far overreached into the lives of employees are freaking out because they're losing some kind of control over their employees. Do you think, because I actually got into a big brouhaha with an employer because I was told that I would be able to work from home. And this was way before the pandemic. And when that ain't happened, they did everything they could to get rid of me.
That sound like what up? Never mind. Go ahead.
So, how do y'all feel about the fact that the employers are like, listen, we know it's a pandemic. We know that y'all been home for 18 months.
Almost 2 years I've been working from home.
Except for Keish.
Yes, well, yes.
Keish is out in that field.
An essential worker. It's different. She's an essential worker.
I couldn't take a blood pressure from my house. I'm sorry.
Right.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
But let me tell y'all, don't sleep, because 20 years from now, my job will be obsolete.
And they actually have some kind of thing where you can do it from your phone.
Yeah, they call that they call it
medicine now. And
that you can actually check your pressure. Like your phone, there's something Apple.
I know. I have high blood pressure. I know.
I know about the heart rate, but I know about blood pressure. You know what? Technology.
So you just hold the phone? What you do?
No, it's your
It's I've never seen.
All right.
I've heard of it.
Pulse.
Okay, I'm letting y'all know right now.
Pulse.
50 years from now, when we in nursing homes or we in somebody's rocking chair or a hospital bed, you're going to be able to put a phone to your vagina and somebody going to have sex with you. Technology is ridiculous.
No,
bitch.
Oh my God, you're penetrating me.
No, but I think China or somebody, they're making of an actual real life human
robots,
so that you can anatomically correct, and you can actually have relations.
So what's it gonna do? Oh. It's gonna be like that or something. Oh.
Wouldn't it be dope? Wouldn't it be dope that he could take you on a date, pay your bills, and have sex with you?
Girl.
Oh.
And he don't argue.
Oh.
You don't argue with you.
Yo, imagine if it just stopped while you about to orgasm and be like, oh, error.
Malfunction.
Please
Put
charge.
money
No,
back.
please charge battery.
Look, they coming up with everything, so you don't even have to have a mate.
Nope.
I'm telling you.
I ain't that desperate. I'm sorry. I ain't that
Wait.
desperate.
No, in China, they're gonna insert prepackaged semen. So you can get pregnant.
Girl,
Oh,
don't give no ideas.
wait, we need to invent that.
I don't know how we got from going into the workplace.
Yeah, going back into the office.
Okay, so going back to what
No,
you
you can't take us nowhere.
Well, as someone who has worked from home since COVID started, they are having a hard time just trying to make folks feel eager to return back into the office, because you don't have to travel that hour in the morning or that hour plus in the evening. So you have time to actually do the actual work.
Yeah, and those people coming by your desk.
You don't have people stopping by. So it's just like, why would I give all of that up to now travel on public transportation? It's still COVID. And so what I've heard of folks are starting to do is a more hybrid schedule.
And that works. That's reasonable.
Right. So it's more so you work in the office, them for 2-3 days, them stay home, them for 2-3 days. But you can't expect folks to now, after 18 months, I have been in basketball shorts and slippers for 18 months on Zoom. And now to come back to put on clothes every day? No. And traveling on a train?
You want me to put on a bra?
You know how much money I saved in laundry?
Exactly. I do my laundry probably now like once a month.
You save money on laundry?
I don't go nowhere.
You're not going nowhere. You home every day.
Where am I going?
Dressed up as if you going into the office.
You wearing the same pants 2 days in a row. Don't sleep.
But I mean, but I
got my shorts on 2 days.
Jeans on. You wear them jeans 2 days in a row. You know you do.
I get dressed every day.
She's the only one. Let me let y'all know. Chola is the model employee. Let me tell you.
He's the employee of the month.
He's the employee of the year.
She log on early. She log off late. She work without you having to put in overtime. She is
the model. She's the poster.
I think it ties into the department that I work in, though. I mean, if I'm not doing it, then how does that look to other people? So I mean,
lead by example.
I'm always readily available. So I'm up. I wake up every morning as if I'm going into the office. I'm up. I shower. I mean, there's been days when I haven't combed my hair, so I'll wrap my hair. But I mean, for the most part, I'm up. I'm dressed. I have my coffee. By 8:30, 8:30, I'm logged in some mornings. And I'm ready, and I'm going.
So, but I don't have a Zoom.
I I try, but
Right. If I don't have Zoom,
but that's the thing. See, because we're not in the office, we're doing more Teams phone calls. So, and most times people are video chatting. So I need to be prepared for one of my colleagues to, call me and their camera's on.
oh,
Oh,
we
look,
I don't put my
I
camera.
only
I
get,
can't put my camera on right now.
I call
I-
in usually.
I've done Zooms, and I'm
But
like,
I'm not even talking about Zoom. I'm just talking about like
oh well,
a
I'm just,
regular,
oh, okay.
like a regular,
A
like
regular meeting.
we do a lot of video chatting.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. We're
no,
doing
I
a lot
don't
of
do
video
that, yeah.
chatting, and we're doing a lot of our meetings. Sometimes our video chat meetings. So
Gotcha.
it's not always with cameras. And then sometimes like if everyone's camera is on and your camera is off, me personally, I just think it isn't a professional look if your camera is off, because it kind of can allude to the fact that, well, are you really prepared and are in work mode? Or you are relaxed in your bed, comfortable and cozy, and are you really working? And it could be me, and I think that I've always had that mindset that if someone really isn't in the office, are they really being productive?
All three of you, do you feel like your companies can function with you guys never coming back to the office ever again?
Prior to the pandemic, I was already working from home. Because of where I'm at, I do believe that there should always be presence so in the office, because if there are people who do need to come in the office, then there should be presence in the office if you do need to meet with staff. But that's just my personal opinion. And prior to this, you would hear people make chitter chatter about, oh, well, I sent so-and-so an email from 9 o'clock this morning. Here it is 2 o'clock and they still haven't responded. So are they really working from home? But those would be little things that people would say.
Mm-hmm.
So now just
That is true.
imagine how much managers are really paying attention to people's performance. How much work are you really pumping out? That's really being watched right now.
Well, Miss Miss,
Oh.
I work from home and I get up and I shower and put my clothes on and have my cup of coffee and have
That's
my
just
hair
me.
done.
But that's a
Listen,
personal thing with me.
If
That
you
is a
are
personal thing
working
with me.
from home or if you're working in the office, most likely your job is based around deliverables. And if your deliverables are met and it's handed in, because most of the stuff you do at work is online anyway.
But
You go into the job and you sit at your computer.
95% of what we're doing, and that's why
It's digital.
well, I'm being honest. That's why 15 years ago it was harder to manage people working from home. And
But if your job is or your workload is based on digital stuff anyway, you have to input into systems. You working from SharePoint or you cloud based or whatever. It's the computer. So
correct.
what difference does it make is if you visibly see me or if I'm in my bed
The difference
in my
is, again, the
office.
difference. The difference is, here is the difference. Your output.
Okay.
How much work are you really doing? And it can be, and it'll be exposed.
True.
It'll
But
be
to
exposed.
go back to the on camera. So I was that person to always be on camera. Like I was like, oh Lord, I gotta Zoom. I'm on camera. And then at first, they would always say, turn on your cameras. But then the studies show you don't know what someone's background and home life is. So if I may not have the capacity, like I know someone who has to do Zooms from their bathroom. and from their closet. But
Okay.
that isn't the company's business.
Okay, but what's the point?
I'm working
What is the
from
point
home.
that you're making? But what is the point that you're making?
That just because I'm not on camera doesn't mean that I'm not working.
But what is the point that you're making to say that there are people who may be working from their bathroom or working from their closet, and that's why they're not on video? What's the point that you're making? Because we all know that Zoom and Teams and all of them, Google, they all provide you with that option to choose a background.
Yes, that is true.
You can wait. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to
yes, that is true.
Even if you're fading in and out, they'll still see that you're on fading in and out. They're not going to see the space that you're in. So there's still no excuse not to turn on your camera.
I just think that it's my home.
But you are provided, but the system allows you to choose a background.
That's if
your argument is a company, because you can choose a background.
No, I still believe that if it's my home, I do not have to show.
You're not showing
my background.
You're not showing your home. You're choosing a background on the app.
That's honest with
your
y'all.
laptop can do that.
There's people like me that
mine can't do that.
There's people like me that don't know how to do that feature. So
and then there's that. Forbes also said that a study also showed that people working from home are having sex, dating, taking naps, and doing side hustles on company time.
That's the and.
Well, where is this? Because I don't got time to do all that.
Well, I'll be honest.
I want to do some of that.
But how many people? Okay, but how many people have you? But there's been a ton of pivots during this time. People have been pivoting.
Yes, people have also been pivoting.
Well, I think it's because you don't have to be like up at the crack of dawn.
That travel takes a toll.
You don't have to travel.
That travel takes a toll.
At times is like
that bus
hours a day.
That Lincoln Tunnel traffic.
So somebody got to travel 3-4 hours a day between. So let's say between traveling, the lunch hour, the break hours, because everybody get like 15-minute breaks, like 2 15-minute breaks and a lunch break. That's a total of 1 hour. Then you got traveling. So let's say 4 hours is between breaks and traveling. That you do have time to have sex and date. Right? And still do be productive at work.
Right.
That's true.
That's a win-win.
Yeah, because you can have sex during your lunch break.
You sure can, especially if it's a minute man.
Sure did.
You can have sex.
I don't need. I can say no minute.
Yeah, and work on your side hustle and your
all of the above. So if you like this video, be sure to stick around and check out our other content. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell button so you receive notifications whenever we put out a new video. On to the next. The pandemic of the alpha male dating coaches. So I know Eve can attest to this, just since she is our single resident of the sisters right now. But online dating is hard. There's no other way of sugarcoating it. Some men, they need assistance, right? So they turn to these dating coaches. The issue here is the sort of assistance that men seem to be getting seems to be laced with a level of toxicity. Here's an example of an iMessage conversation that they have put out on Twitter on the tweeter that put out on the tweeter. The conversation starts with a man's and FaceTime me at 12. The woman responds, just FaceTime me. I have homework and sometimes forget to check my phone. The man responds with, "Ma'am, I don't follow women's lead. And the fact that you can't follow simple instructions shows your lack of respect for me. So I'm going to end it here."
All right, bye. Damn.
So, quick question. If it isn't these alpha male dating coaches, where in the world are men getting the audacity and the mitigated gall to behave so atrociously and so gentlemanly?
Who are these alpha male coaches, and what school did what therapy degree, psychology degree did they get?
Well, it seems that we're talking about two Kevin Durs in this show, because we talked about Kevin Hunter and Mr. Samuels.
Are we gonna? But I don't think we should give him any. I don't think.
Oh, but he's one of the alpha male coaches.
Yeah, but I hate to give. I hate to talk about him, which means that people will hear us discussing him, and if they haven't heard of him, we're actually giving him free press. And I would not like to give him free press. So we'll just talk about there is an alpha male out there that's giving bad advice.
Right.
Yes.
There's a shortage of men out there. And so these coaches must be telling these men, listen, you are a hot commodity. And if the person you're trying to date don't want to abide by your rules, you need to throw her in the garbage and keep it moving, because it's a sea full of women. And that's
okay. I have a question. Why do people feel that everyone wants and needs and should be coupled? Why can't a woman be comfortable with being single? What is wrong with the woman that does not have a husband? Is there a law that says that the only way you would have happiness in your life is to have a husband? I mean, because these people are giving out advice as to, as a woman, how you should be and how you should respond to a man. If not, a man isn't going to want you. Okay, well, what if I don't want to be coupled? Why is it that it comes down to
you're trying to smash? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
You're just trying to get it off and then bye.
Maybe, but it's like a thing that if a woman is single, it's a bad thing. If she doesn't have a husband, like it's a bad thing. We heard somebody make a comment on the show, "Oh, you could bring your luggage because the rest of you all are married." What makes you think that I'm not happy not being married?
Right.
That was Wendy Osefo on Real Housewives of Potomac.
There are people who are consciously single. I actually took a course that focused on relationships, and one of the topics was people who have chosen to be single and enjoy single life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a husband. A husband doesn't provide validation in your life. And I think sometimes when I hear women talk about it, when I hear men make comments about you'll never get a husband, I think it drives me.
Well, that's why you ain't got no man. Or
that shit crazy.
Like maybe I don't want one right now.
And people would say, "Oh, well, you have a husband
fine right now."
Well, you have a husband, so you can't. Well, what are you saying? Okay, yeah, I am married. However, I don't think that a woman that isn't married is less of a person. My husband doesn't validate my womanhood. Right. My husband doesn't validate my place in society.
Right.
I don't feel I'm married, yes, but I have real accomplishments like being married. People make being married as an accomplishment to get married. Like, right. Oh my God, you did a grand thing. You got a husband. I don't think that that message should still be put out there.
A lot of people have been brainwashed, so it might be a cultural thing.
Yeah, that's why I think
it's societal norm
and generational thing.
But what it does to a lot of women is they start putting clocks on themselves.
Yep.
That I have to have this now. I have to do this.
You get so many women that are settling because they feel that they have to have something because society says that this is what you're supposed to have.
So I
And
have
so
to have
now
a
I'm
man.
in a relationship that may not be the best of relationships, but look, I have a husband.
And that's actually what
Having children.
no, but that's exactly what I'm going through now. Cause like I'm at an age where I could be married, I could have kids if I want to or so. And a lot of people like, why you don't go out on dates? Why you just stay in the house or why you always at work or whatever? Cause I'm like, I'm focusing on my career right now. Can I get that settled for me first before I start bringing somebody in? Or people, why you don't have kids that family members are like, where's your, I'm like, can I have my like time to become the woman I want to be first before I bring in somebody else? So I definitely understand that. I think it's more of a like a generational thing, or like how it says like that's a prize if you achieve that. Because I'm definitely going through that right now. So
And there's a couple things. So the kid thing, it plays a big part with women because at some point they were taught when they were younger, like, don't wait till you close to your 40s to decide that you want to have kids. So they start doing the timeline where, they start spacing things out. Okay, I need like 3 years to date him. Then he's gonna be close to me, and then we're gonna have like a couple years where we enjoy our relationship. Then we're gonna have kids. So when they start adding all the years together, they're like, damn, I gotta meet this Mr. right now, if all of this stuff is supposed to fall into place.
But see, that's what makes it very interesting, because we know for a fact that many women have chosen motherhood later in life. I know so many women that started having their children in their early 40s.
40s. Yeah.
And they may, then you may see them having like popping them out, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Yeah.
But they focus on themselves.
First,
They
right.
focus on their careers. They focus on establishing themselves, and then they brought the children in when it was time for them to bring the children into their life. And I think that we have
And they didn't have to put the baby in the dresser drawer.
Right.
Yeah.
We've seen
No,
this
they could
shift,
actually
but
have a
we've
bed for
seen
the baby.
this shift has been at least 25 years old. So the fact that we're still in this place where this message is being put out there is so crazy to me, because this shift in women having a career and then choosing family after, or women having a career, not choosing a husband and still creating a family.
Right.
We've seen this shift for damn near 30 years now. So when you have people putting out there, oh, well, have you seen how you look? Is that how you wear your hair? That's the outfit that you wear? Well, how you expect to get a man? Excuse me?
A lot of women, their fear is that if they wait too long, they're not marketable. So it's like a catch-22. It's like, okay, so when I'm ready to get on the track, not like a prostitute, but when I'm ready to put myself out there, a lot of these guys go for younger girls, unfortunately.
But
I'm just mentioning
because here's the thing.
Because there's a lot of women out there that feel, what I find also, especially with other cultures, and I'm not saying like Indian, Asian. I find with the Caucasian culture, I'm gonna mention them. I find that when there's a group of girls that hang out with each other, they tend to start getting married around the same time, because now Becky got a man and she's engaged, so now I got to snatch me a man. So they all start because they're afraid of being left out, where, oh my God, I'm going to be the only one not married. So it's like a trend amongst their group. But then you have people like Eve, who I commend, where he's like, I got to find myself. I'm not going to delve myself into a relationship where I get lost, and then 20 years later, I'm trying to figure out who the hell I am. So I commend you, because that's big.
Yeah. She went and got her degrees. Because obviously you and I, Keish, we started at infancy, and I'm sure even though we love our children, we sometimes look back and be like,
damn. I'll be honest with y'all, if I could do it over again and I still would marry my husband, I would have my first kid at 40 and belt them out quick. Boom, boom, boom.
Let's go. One more.
But it's crazy to think that, I have a 32-year-old child, and sometimes I play back
How
and
is
I'm
it
like, well,
crazy? You're almost 64.
Don't do that to my sis.
so, but sometimes, but no, I sit down and I think back and I say, well, if I didn't have him at that age, when would I have had a child? Would I have even had any children by now?
You know who disgusts me? Women who have kids
Mm-hmm.
and always got to have a man. Always got to have a man. Like
Yeah.
they have,
Always.
and
And putting them over your kids.
they got
Everybody.
they don't give they don't give the kids a break from seeing dude after dude after dude. Like, come on,
I have
sis.
a friend that's like that.
But because that's not about the kid. That's just about that person who always have a need to be in a relationship.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Those are the women that disgust me because my thing is there's no reason why your kid is always seeing you with a different man.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Whether your relationship lasted 10 years or 10 days, you should not. Oh, some women don't even let it lapse. Like, as soon as
Yeah.
you with a guy, 2 weeks later, they with another dude, and it's like, come on now, like, find yourself in the between. Obviously, you got lost in the sauce in that relationship. Heal first, and then move on to the next one, and let your kids heal.
Yeah.
Heal too, like let them heal from seeing whoever you was with for all these years because they had some kind of attachment, and then you
Yeah.
next guy in. I mean, like, I want to say some celebrities' names, but I'm not gonna say it. But there's one in particular. God bless her little heart, her Puerto Rican soul.
We could talk about J-Lo.
Yes, that girl always got somebody. She never has a break.
She said she's a relationship person.
And she's a relationship person.
But she
And Halle
never
Berry.
is. Like, let the kids.
There are people who cannot be alone. They have a need to be in a relationship.
Like,
That goes back to how we began this conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I just realized I realized yesterday, I was like, I haven't been in this relationship in 2 years, a serious relationship in 2 years. I'm like, I dated, of course, like here and there, but nothing whereas in like, this is my man. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
But you know something,
Nobody
Keisha,
changing your status over.
but Keisha, see, that's a hard one too with what you just said, because then you get some women who actually start to put down themselves to say, oh my gosh, I can honestly say in the past 5 years, I've been with like at least 6 different dudes in the past 5 years, as if that's a bad thing. Is it a bad thing?
No.
If you have kids.
No, it's not a bad thing when you single.
If you have kids.
When you have kids, like,
and you're bringing them around your kids, yes, that's a bad thing.
I'm speaking from experience, and I thank my mom that she didn't, like, she admitted to me, she said, Keish, I did a lot of dating, and she said, you only seen
like 2 people.
You go to sleep.
That's how my mom was.
I was dating, but I've seen girls who don't care whether kids is 2:00 in the afternoon or 2:00 in the morning. Them kids see everybody that mom is dating.
But see, now here's but then here's another question. Are these women, do they have the ability to date?
What do you mean have the ability to date?
Do they have the ability to date?
Of course.
Because what if I don't have a nana that can watch my kids for me to go hang out with guys?
Girl, I had a girlfriend that admitted to me she used to put a little scissor in her child's Kool-Aid and like, all right, boo.
Okay, that's child abuse. That's child abuse.
Then she had her little date come over and blow her back out.
Okay, so we're still abusing our children then, because like that's still child abuse. But that's what I'm saying. If you don't have anyone to watch your kids, and a man can't, the only way a man can court you is by coming over to your place, then how do you handle that?
I'll tell y'all, and God bless my mom, and I'm not trying to put her out there. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. So thank God my mom didn't do that to me. And she admitted years later when we were I was a grown-ass woman. She said, listen, I did my dating. You didn't know like a large percentage of who I was dating. And I appreciate that. There was one particular dude that she was really serious about, like really serious. So my mom, anybody that know my mom, she worked her tail off. Like she did a lot of overtime and stuff like that. So I stayed at my grandma's a lot. But when my mom picked me up, she lived like not too far, like right around the corner from grandma. So I remember there was a dude where so I didn't see my mom every day, but when I did see her, when she come pick me up, the dude be sitting on the steps waiting for her. So then it's like, okay, so now I didn't see you for a little while.
Right.
I come home and then it's about him. So then they go in the bedroom. I'm in my bedroom, and that was it. So now I see my mother for a few minutes. Boom, we're done. So, so I'm speaking on behalf of all the children. If there's any women that's out there that's watching this, and you don't give your children a break from seeing dudes after dudes after dudes, it's not fair to the kids. Because I remember being like 7 years old, and I had a conversation with my mom, and I had to sit down and talk with her, and I told her how I felt. I was like, Mom, I don't see you. And then when I see you, he's there. And I'm like, that's not fair to me. So, and she apologized to me, and she fixed it. But she didn't look at it like that at that moment, because it was like, she wasn't.
Mama got needs. Mama got needs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she was still entitled to a life.
Yeah. And nobody's saying that you can't have a life.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like my little brain, I was 7 years old, my brain was fragile. Like, I shouldn't have had to get therapy off of this dude.
Yeah.
It should be compromised.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a life, at least compromise.
And I'm glad we had the conversation. Fixed it. But a lot of people had the conversation with their mom.
I hear what you're saying, Eve, and I understand compromise. I get it, but I'm also open to the consideration of not everyone has the ability to date and hang out, and they'll have the advantage of, Shauna, can you watch my kids so I can go out with so and so tonight? Or can the kids sleep over because I want to be with this dude? Some people don't have that ability, and unfortunately, the only way you can entertain is if this person comes to your home where your kids are.
Well, then that's where I have to say, if that's the case, if you don't have that, then that's where you have to make the sacrifice, and you just don't date and bring in your house with your children that you don't know like that on a regular basis with your kids until they're older, they can watch themselves. That's a sacrifice you got to make. That's what my mama did.
Yep.
Yeah,
and she had help.
Because who, like how old were we when she first started dating?
I think I was like 28.
That's what she told y'all.
Oh, that's what she told us? True.
But we ain't see him. Like,
right.
We didn't see it. Like, are you my dad?
We did not see that. No. we never saw.
Bad for those kids and everybody's uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, uncle. Wait, I don't know if it was a TikTok video. I don't know if it was planned or set up, but it was so cute where they recorded it through the Ring, and the guy was bringing his kid home. So apparently him and the baby mama broke up. So he's bringing his son back home, and so a dude came out. So he asked his son, he was like, "Yo, who's that dude that came out of mom's house?" And the little boy said, "That's her father." He was like, "He's too young to be her father. What you talking about?" He said, "Well, every night she be calling him daddy." He be screaming out for the bedroom. She be calling him daddy.
Oh.
But the funny thing was, it seemed realistic because, like I said, the recording was through the Ring.
Right.
He was like, "Oh, that's her dad." Like, he said, "Because every night."
Your grandfather? Does that look like Papa? Does that Papa?
That don't look like Papa.
And also, too, like going back to what we were saying before about why do people feel like like how you were saying, like, especially for single women, why do there's single women that feel like they don't have to be with someone in order to complete themselves. So going to these women, like, okay, you already have a couple kids. You don't need a man to complete you. Like, invest that time and energy in your kids. And there's other ways to please yourself until that right person come along.
Get that joint we were just talking about, the robot.
Yeah.
But if you're a relationship person,
You don't want the
again,
robot.
if you're a relationship person, then what do you do? I hate to use her as an example, but J-Lo.
Yeah, we said that.
J-Lo
Yeah.
is never.
J-Lo said it. Wait,
Yeah,
That's
she's
what
a
I'm saying.
relationship
So-
person.
So we know that Emmy is seeing her mother. Emmy done seen her mother with the Casper boy.
Girl, stop. Just
Then
stop.
they was doing the whole family thing with
Mark Anthony.
A-Rod. No,
Mark
A-Rod.
Anthony's
No,
their father.
with A-Rod.
With
No.
A-Rod. Right, with A-Rod.
With
They were
A-Rod.
doing the family thing with A-Rod. So his kids and her kids were together.
Right.
And now you're not with him. You're back with Ben,
Ben,
who
right.
predated my dad.
Yeah.
You
Right.
understand? So now you're back with the man who predates my dad. So I've seen you with Casper the dancer, A-Rod.
She was rumored to be with Drake for a second. Remember that picture
And
when
then
she was laying on his lap?
now this guy Ben. So now is Jennifer allowing Ben's children to be around the other Jennifer? Because Ben has 3 children with his ex-wife.
Jennifer. Yeah.
So are they going to now
I'm with the other Jennifer.
do the same things that she did with the A-Rod situation and
Right.
mesh the
the
children
family.
together? So
And then
I mean,
now the kids are like, well, where's Susie?
because they formed a relationship with A-Rod's kids.
A-Rod's kids.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Where's
now you're
Susan?
not
We're
with
not gonna
A-Rod.
play.
So now you're with Ben. So now we're going to form a relationship with Ben. But this is why I'm saying I don't want to seem as if I'm judging, because these are situations that do happen. And I'm saying that that's just as traumatic because you're blending families only to break them apart.
Waiting for tonight. Listen,
Well,
I
as
don't agree with that either.
someone who taught preschool for 15 years, I have heard some stories
I know them kids be
about what goes on in the house from the children.
Mommy said,
I have heard stories of what the mommy did, what
and they be so
the
innocent
daddy
when they
did,
say
what
it.
grandma
Yeah, and it be
did.
like,
And they so sweet about it.
Mama was on her knees in front of daddy.
Yeah, you know what? My grandmama said he ain't shit.
Heard it all from the kids.
Well, we all have to be cognizant of our future, which is our children. So we got to make sure we pour into them and not just into our loins.
It is finally here. Miss Yvette has recorded her very first single, In the Morning, and it's available now on all streaming platforms. Download it today.